Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot and welcome to some general readings for the total lunar eclipse, supermoon, blood moon, flower moon for 26th, 27th of May, depending on where you are in the world. Now it's for the sign that is in the title of the video. It's a bulk introduction as ever. There'll be a timestamp that I'll put down below because I would suggest watch your sun, your moon, and your rising. And if you only get to watch one of them, watch your rising. Now, as ever, there's a link in the description down below for a birth chart, so you can find out your rising sign if you don't know it. And as general readings and general YouTube readings, standard advice applies. You know, if it don't fit, don't try and make it fit. Don't let me make decisions for you. It's not so much, well, I suppose this one is a take what resonates, because normally I would say for my more specific readings, ask a question. But this time I'm using basically oracle cards, and it's having a look at what energies I think this lunar eclipse, or I feel, or I intuit, I suppose would be a better way of saying it, or what the cards think anyway, that are bringing to us to experience throughout the effect of this lunar eclipse. Now, sometimes that can be up to 3 months. I've got stuck in my head from somewhere. I think 3 months for a lunar and 6 months for a solar. However, looking at the symbolism and looking at the astrology of it, it looks like it's definitely a build up and a preparation of the solar eclipse when that arrives in 2 weeks, another 2 weeks' time. So I will be doing a show with astrologer David Fisher, looking at the astrology of this lunar eclipse, and also it's a full moon. So I will still be doing my full moon gods at play readings as well, where I will be looking also at the angels and demons and that sort of the symbolisms and the degree symbols of the lunar eclipse itself. Here, since it is a south node eclipse, that is also talking about letting things go, releasing, dealing with the past, all of that sort of stuff. So I thought I would have a look at the angel regarding the south node itself, which in this case is Menadel. But I also want to point out that this is under the influence of Neptune, 22 degrees Pisces. So under modern rulerships, it's happy, it's at home, it's at 22 degrees, it's a master number, giving it extra whammy. And have a look at Soul Garden Namaste TV, Serious Joy, sorry, on YouTube for more about step 22, as Kushwateki calls it. But this is conjunct Pallas, the asteroid Pallas, which a few astrologers have made something of. There's a great video. Well, there was a great note, but I'm sure there was a video about it. If I may suddenly think I'm imagining it, but about Neptune conjunct Pallas from Anastasia Cosmic Astrologer. But the one thing that I noticed that nobody else is talking about is that it is also conjunct the asteroid Orpheus. So Neptune conjunct Pallas is extra psychic whammy, extra psychic awareness, extra psychic atmosphere, psychically charged. It's also Pallas can be looking at the wise way to weaponize things. So I think we have to keep a very close eye on the media and see what symbols and metaphors and dreams and wishy-washy woolly ideas that they are pushing forward more and more and more in order to sway public opinion one way or another. Take that as you will. I'm not an anti-vaxxer or anything like that, so I'm not listening to that sort of aspect of it. But when we look at the patent argument about the COVID vaccine, or we look at the various other economic arguments that abound on the planet, I wouldn't be surprised if something comes up. But with this also being conjunct Orpheus, now what do we know about Orpheus? He was a musician. and he descended into the underworld to bring back to life his lover Eurydice, who had been killed by a snake bite, and he braved all sorts of challenges and unfortunately failed on the last 5 yards. But there's this image of a descent into the underworld for heroic reasons. Now, a lot of the astrologers are saying that this is a letting go of past baggage. And to be honest, some of the degree symbols back this up. But with Neptune and Pallas together, we are able to dive into our own personal underworlds, Orpheus, and note those ideas and beliefs that have been used against us, even if it is us using them against us. You know, standard counseling sort of philosophy of it's not so much what other people have told you, it's what you learned as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old that you have to deal with. And let's face it, a 4, 5 or 6-year-old doesn't always get things right. So it looks like it's a perfect opportunity to dive into all those sorts of issues. Now, the angel, as I said, for this is Menadel. Now, as a degree angel, Menadel represents fear or fearlessness, and inner and outer work. So those, if we descend into our own underworlds, get the teeth in, then that is inner work that can have an effect on our lives, on the outer work, quite dramatically, I would say, under this Neptune Pallas Orpheus conjunction, all being ruled by Menadel. Now, Menadel is about liberation. So again, there's that letting go. Freedom and work. Not freedom from work, but finding that work that is your great work, whatever your great work may be. It's associated with Mars. So there is all this diving into the underworld. It's not just to dive into the underworld and stay there and wallow in, oh, look, I've got this issue, and oh, look, I've got that. It's a dive in, do what you need to, get out again. Now, Menadel's also a guardian of some people born under the sign of Virgo. I've not got the degrees, but I've got the dates, 18th to the 23rd of September, traditionally. So I don't know if you have your birthday in that period, you may get a bit of extra whammy from this transit, purely from that angelic resonance. Now, the interesting thing is the Chandra degree, Chandra symbol or inside degree we have is icicles melting. And the description is soul timing, slow and formative, waiting for fullness and ripeness, outliving old stuck patterns by slowly wearing them out. Something that I think we are in the process of, certainly since last year and all the crazy astrology that we've been having since late 2019. Deep process, you experience lessons in humility and simplicity. An extravagant streak which relents only after relentless pressure. Now, can you see in this symbol, there's also that tension between the Saturn-Uranus square going on. The conflict and the attempting to balance the old with the new. In fact, it says, the next thing it says here is cross purposes. You have an attachment to personal inclination of the most stubborn kind, and yet a desperate drive to get beyond the shadow. Interior dialogue and dispute. I don't think this is going to necessarily be externally a dramatic full moon. With it, the normal full moon, if you worked in all sorts of jobs, you know full moon is always a crazy night. I think the eclipse aspect would hopefully calm that down a bit. Fingers crossed. But I think internally, it promises to be a doozy. The slow burning way and allowing pride to surrender without being made wrong. Elaborate maneuvers towards significant breakthrough, which backs up everything that I was saying. Now, the Sabian symbol. Now, here's a fascinating one. Let me scroll down to it to make sure I get it right. Where have you gone? Now, it's a flag turns into an eagle. The eagle into a chanticleer saluting the dawn. Now, I see that Saturn Uranus old versus new in that symbol as well. The eagle, although it's gone down, it was a symbol of Rome, it's a symbol of America. It's not the only country that has the eagle as one of its symbols. And it comes historically, if you like your ancient alien stuff, it comes from Babylonian times, and it was the symbol of Enlil. Where, if you like your ancient aliens, you'll remember that Enlil is the one that tried to bump us all off because we were thinking too much and getting too bright. And it was his brother Enki who managed to save more than a few of us. Enki, if you're unfamiliar with Sumerian myths, you can look at Enki in a way as being a cross between Poseidon and Prometheus, because Enki was the one who gave mankind gifts and theoretically created us in the first place, and so therefore we're his pets, and he wants us to prosper, and ignore all the weird power dynamics of that statement. So in the background of this strange allegory, we recognise the deep-seated belief that the American nation and its basic democratic institutions were constituted to be the cradle for a new step in human evolution. How ironic that Dame Rudyard would look at it that way. And under modern context, absolutely. Under your ancient alien context, gets a bit weirder, doesn't it? But then again, so if you're into your conspiracy theories, this is a great one. Because the keynote of this symbol is the spiritualization and promotion of great symbols of a new age by minds sensitive to its precursory manifestations. How apropos right now, when you have everyone talking about the new age of Aquarius, that I still say we're not in it for a few hundred years yet, but we have that Aquarian energy, we have that air energy from the new 200-year, 800-year Jupiter-Saturn Great Conjunction cycle that has now entered the element of air. So even to a point, and I suppose this comes from my more scientific past, I'm a stickler for going, we are not yet in the age of Aquarius, but it really doesn't harm to start believing that we are, because of the good sides of it, because our beliefs and our actions defined by those beliefs will hopefully bring around that Aquarian paradise that everyone talks of, rather than maybe a totalitarian state, which is the shadow side of Aquarius. But let's not talk about that one. So carrying on with Dame Rudyard's interpretation, the flag is the abstract symbol of the nation. It becomes an eagle, another US symbol, when the concept is made alive by bold and transparent action. I suppose that relates to what I was just saying about the whole Age of Aquarius idea. The eagle symbolizes spiritual will and the power to rise from the highest possible altitude to the highest possible altitude of consciousness and purpose. Flying at such an altitude, the eagle is the first living creature to perceive the rising sun. Now, that he writes more about this, but I don't want this introduction to be too long. But I have not yet looked at the chart for the solar eclipse, and let's face it, I rely on David for the more technical understandings of all that anyway. But it will be interesting to see what I dig up about Amael for the full moon gods at play readings. Other than that, you can ask a question before this reading. Here's your opportunity now if you want to. I'm not going to guarantee you'll get an answer because it's not necessarily that sort of reading. But I'll bring the cards up in a second. So if you want to, pause, ask your question, concentrate on it for a few minutes and start the video again. In the meantime, I'll bring up the cards. Okay, Sagittarius, pretty obviously this lunar eclipse is occurring in your first house. And just on the very thought of that, there is an opportunity, I would assume, to change how people perceive you. Now, that occurred to me while I was shuffling, and I've no idea whether astrologically it's correct or not. But it is really important for the message that these cards are bringing out. Well, the first thing I want to point out to you is from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell, we have Menadel. We have the angel who is in charge of the South Node here appearing for you, inner and outer work. Now, what this appears to be saying is basically if there is some form of change that you are wanting to bring about, some form of goal you are wanting to achieve, some place you are wanting to be, concentrate on that. Concentrate on it, and you will be receiving assistance to get there. Eyes on the prize, trust the guidance of your North Star is saying, set your barrow out, go for it. And the Oath card, from the Wisdom of the House of Night, to me is saying don't break promises to yourself. If you have already promised yourself that you're going to do this thing, do this thing. Now is the time to really focus on it, really go all out. That's like I was saying, because I think your obstacles, we have Hasmed, the angel of annihilation here, obstacles may well be removed out of your path. If that is true, you do not want to be one of those obstacles to you achieving your highest destiny. Highest destiny is what this Eagle King card is talking about. You have the opportunity right now to achieve your highest destiny. That's what it says in the book. But it also here says the big picture, angelic help. Now that angelic help is also echoed here with the Ascended Masters card, showing that there is support. So if it is a more spiritual goal, then open yourself up to allowing yourself to be guided by whatever form of spiritual communication works for you. You know, whether it's just taking the inspiration from songs that you hear coming out of someone's house as you walk past, or whether it's a full-on manifestation of some entity in front of you or in your dreams saying, right, go do this. If that occurs, stick with it, because this is a time of transformation for you. I have a Mia here with Alchemy and Transformation, which would have been a great card to pull for Scorpio, but they didn't get it, you did. So there is a real opportunity here for you to achieve some form of really, really important goal. Now, whether that means that within the light of the lunar eclipse, you're able to set up all the groundwork and able to move forward, you know, I don't know what speed we're going. Let's see if a Knight of Pentacles turns up. But now's the time to really go for it. Now, Haberim, this is the Goetic spirit Aim. A Duke of Hell and in command of 26 military units, carries a torch and has 3 heads in the centre. That of a man on the left, a serpent, and on the right a cat. There's a lot of wisdom to be gained from those 2 images. Let's have a look what they say about Haberim, because Aim is a spirit that I don't know a great deal about. So I should probably have looked this up before I started filming. But beware of sharp wit and cunning becoming a destructive force if not tempered with consideration. Now that puts an extra flip over on this Hasmed. And very much, yeah, get out of your own way, Sagittarius. Focus on your goal and stick with it. Ask for help. But get moving. Saint Expedite here. Literally meaning, well, that's where the word expedite comes from, immediacy. You know, start acting on it now. No more ifs, no more buts. Just start doing, because you have done the research. You do know we have Harahel here with intellectual richness against Orias with theft and destruction. Do not steal your own opportunity away from you. Keep the promises that you have made to yourself. And for that matter, if there's other promises that are around, keep them as well. Because that's the thing with the oath card. It can also indicate about oath breakers that are, let's say, disapproved of with that card. And with Hasmed, the Angel of Annihilation there, yeah, you've already done the groundwork. There's me saying that maybe you're setting up the groundwork. You've already done it. We've got the Seven of Pentacles here for the eyes on the prize. If it's a case of wanting the grass to be greener, well, then get on with it and make yourself into the place where you believe the grass is greener. But you've already done this work. You've done the research. You have the intellectual richness necessary. And when it comes to other people, you maybe do not wish to... how can I put it? Other people are not the obstacle that you believe them to be. More than likely, from these cards, you may be the obstacle that you believe other people to be. And so chill out and get out your own way and start doing. Because with that Eagle King card, we've got the World card. This really is a chance to bring whatever you particularly, whatever your... Now, I've had a discussion on this channel before about life purpose. I don't believe in life purpose per se, because what my life purpose is this week may be different to what my life purpose is next year. Our life purpose is an ever-changing thing. It is dynamic. It is reacting to the changing world around us. So sometimes your life purpose is simply to be there, which when you're looking for a massive big life purpose can be really frustrating, because you're like thinking, is this it? And actually, yes, because you're performing a really good job just by being you where you are. You know, whether it's providing comfort to somebody or support to somebody, or just a series of events where you are in the right place at the right time for yourself or for others. But that can be really, you know, because you don't feel like there is this massive purpose going on. Hasmed here, Angel of Annihilation, being clarified by the Fool. There is a new beginning to be had. Get rid of the obstacles, but the obstacles are not necessarily other people, because you may not see the value in moving out on this. Okay, 2 cards then. On moving out on this right now. What was it we just said about Habarim? Talk about cotton memory of a goldfish. Oh, the wit and cunning, that was it. Yeah, there's Queen of Pentacles reversed here. Be wary of your words, Sagittarius, because since this is in all your first house, this is all about how people perceive you. And so, yeah, be careful of your words. Use your intuition, and ever so often you may find that, yeah, maybe I don't say that. Because, right. Following your intuition and accepting that angelic help, ascended masters coming in, however you want to, spiritual forces working on your side, you have to work with them and not against them. But this Judgment card here, that's weird, because what I get from that Judgment card is certain decisions can be put off, but not the decision to start moving on whatever you're personal project is. You know, those sort of I've always wanted to do, well, now's the time. You will feel that calling and you will start working on that calling, or you will prevaricate and prognosticate and you'd suffer for it. So you might as well crack on, you know. There's this beautiful new beginning. With Hazmed and the Fool here, it's almost like there is a new beginning anyway. So it might as well be a new beginning that you are shaping and that you are pushing forward with. But this Judgment card is saying there's a decision that you don't have to make just yet, linking with Harahel and Manadel. I really feel that is to do with other people, as well as, you know, mind your tongue and don't be too mean in what you're saying. You know, even if it's people that you believe you don't necessarily care about, be careful. Definitely be careful during this time, because fulfilling this promise to yourself does not need to be a battle with others or with yourself. That's what I get from the Five of Swords here. But there's also, with that Five of Swords being reversed, it's a sense of everything that you are dealing with is new stuff. You are not taking an old thing and pushing it forward. This is a new thing that you are wanting to go ahead with, and that will, I was going to say, pay out nicely or return dividends, because I've got those Three of Wands here for your ships coming back in. But it's planning and acting and allowing things to come back to you, but also not necessarily cutting other people out, whatever that means in relation to all of this. So maybe it's to do with that, whether you see other people as an obstacle or yourself as an obstacle. If you are seeing other people as an obstacle, you don't have to cut them out. You need to look inside you and say, why am I allowing this to be an obstacle? That's what I get there. But this promises to be really positive for you, Sagittarius, if you take advantage. If you don't take advantage, there appears to be some form of new beginning coming anyway, so you will be better off taking advantage. So it may be a thing that you've always wanted to do, but you don't see the value in doing it right now. If that's true, do it anyway. Do it anyway, because if not now, when? You may be worried about other people not seeing value in it. Well, on that level, you're wrong. Other people will see value in it. So that's the best way I can put that. That's everything that I can see out of the cards. As I said in the intro, come back for your Full Moon Gods at Play readings and the show with David, where I do this. David does the astrology. Like, share, subscribe. It really does help the channel. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed already or even given me a like. It helps with dealing with the algorithm, and I'm still chasing after the magic 1000 at the moment. So yeah, all subscriptions are welcome, and you are welcome to come join. Right. Yeah, that's it. Cheers.